Paolo von Schirach. Paolo is a professor of international relations and economics at Bay Atlantic University. Thanks for joining us on the program. The Trump administration claims immunity, but a federal judge says White House staff can be made to testify. So what implications does this ruling have for the Democrat-led impeachment inquiry?
Well, it opens up other avenues of inquiry. In other words, usually the presidents in the past have claimed executive privilege, saying that communications between the president and the White House staff are confidential, and that therefore people working for the president should not and could not be forced to testify and report on matters that they've discussed with the president on a confidential basis. But if McGahn, who was White House counsel, that is the chief lawyer of the White House, is mandated to testify, this opens up other possibilities for the acting chief of staff and for the former national security advisor, John Bolton. I mean, all these people are involved one way or the other. If we go back to the Mueller investigation and, of course, now the Ukraine matter, which has been the object of hearings. So this can change things a bit for the, for the worse, I suppose, for the president.
This is quite a blow for the Justice Department, which, of course, plans to appeal the ruling. Do you think the ruling will hold?
It's hard to say because, again, these are matters that are not set in concrete. There has been a long-held position, as I indicated, by all presidents, Democrats and Republicans, that communications between themselves, between the president and senior staff, is privileged, and therefore, people cannot be forced to, divulge or tell what happened and who said what to whom in a meeting in the Oval Office with the president. But we'll see. The courts may look at this in different ways, and this is not set in concrete.
It's a holiday this week for Thanksgiving, so Congress is on a break. But I want to play some testimony that we heard last week during the impeachment hearings from Trump's former top Russia advisor, Fiona Hill.
It was part of a conversation about the things that Mr. Giuliani was saying very frequently in public. We saw them often, or saw him often on television making these statements. And I'd asked if there was anything that we could do about it. And Ambassador Bolton had looked pained, basically indicated with body language that there was nothing much that we could do about it. And he then, in the course of that discussion, said that Rudy Giuliani was a hand grenade that was going to blow everyone up.
All right, so we heard Fiona Hill there talking about Giuliani and Bolton, and you had mentioned that this opens up the door for them as well being questioned. So do you think that Democrats will go after more people within Trump's circle because of this ruling?
It could be. It could very well be. And again, I think especially John Bolton, who clearly did not have a favorable opinion. Of course, as we know, he has been fired for policy differences with the president on a variety of different issues, completely unrelated to this matter. But if he's going to be frank and indicate his own displeasure in seeing that beyond on top of or circumventing the normal policy channels, the president had resorted to a personal back channel, using his own personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, to conduct business with Ukraine, this is not going to look good. I'm not sure that Mr. Bolton or others who may testify on this business of Ukraine will add anything substantive that we do not know already. The facts seem to be pretty clear that the president used his own influence to try to twist the arm of the Ukrainian president so that he would start an investigation on the Bidens and get in return a White House meeting and the unblocking of aid to Ukraine. We kind of know this, but this can make things a bit worse for the president if John Bolton, who is a seasoned Washington insider, puts his thumb on the scale, if you wish, and says, hey, you know what? This is really what happened, and this is really bad for the United States and what have you. This is maybe what he's going to say if he's forced to testify.
These impeachment hearings have dealt blow after blow to the U.S. president. But if you listen to Trump and Republicans, they do continue to deny that he's done anything wrong. Do you think that these hearings have done anything to change opinions in the general public? Do you think that more people are in favor of impeachment, or are the feelings waning there?
Well, look, this is an excellent question because ultimately, as everybody knows, impeachment is a political process. Although it has the trappings and the appearances of a trial where the House does the indictment and the Senate does the judging, and the whole thing in the Senate will be presided upon by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So it's a very austere, important, set of circumstances. But ultimately, this is a political process. We have seen in opinion polls that the number of people here in the United States who favor the impeachment process has grown, but not dramatically. And the favorables for President Trump have remained more or less the same in the mid 40% or something like that. So we do not see as yet anything that has changed the minds and the opinions of most people. And the very fact that this has been led as a partisan process. In other words, this is a process led by the Democrats in the House, who, as we know, have a majority in the House. Not one single Republican joined the Democrats in favoring the beginning of this impeachment process. And based on what we know right now, it is extremely unlikely that when the proceedings move to the Senate and all senators will be asked to vote as to whether to remove President Trump from office or not, the Democrats need at least 20 Republicans to join them to succeed in this effort. At the moment, I am not sure that they would get even one.
Right.
Maybe they'll get one, maybe get two, I don't know. But at the moment, it doesn't look that way. So this looks like a partisan process. And whether it's true or not, that's the appearance of it.
Okay.
And therefore, I don't think that the strong Trump supporters are going to be swayed one way or the other.
Okay, Paolo von Schirach joining us in Washington. Thank you for your time today.